Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Lydia with Raindrop Lila, and today I want to share with you guys my blessings journal. This is the latest journal that I've made and it's gotten quite chunky. It's so thick. I think it's about 3.5 inches. Yeah, it's about 3.5 inches wide the spine is, and there's plenty of room for it to be filled up even more. But I really love the way this turned out. I actually decided to try and experiment with a different binding technique, and or maybe it's not different binding, it's more of a different cover. And I wanted to make kind of a curved spine, and I also wanted to really showcase all this stitching, which is why I left the cover a bit more simple, because I really wanted the stitching and the curved spine to kind of be the show of the journal. So that's why you can see that it's a fairly simple cover, but I really am loving the way it turned out. And I also tied it up with this pretty pink lace just to add a little bit extra to it. And then I included this heart. I actually hand stitched this little, it's like a little patchwork heart. I hand stitched different lace pieces, and then on the back I hand stitched different pieces, and I wrote a new heart on here because this is actually a faith-based journal. So this is a journal that you might want to use as for a Bible study, or just to write your experiences or your prayers. And so I was just thinking that God gives us a new heart, and that's what gives us the desire to seek Him and learn the Word. Okay, so I just felt like that was a fitting sentiment for that. It also comes with this envelope that I made, and I used a printable, and I added a bit of lace on here and I embellished it, and so it opens up, and then I have different pieces in here that can be used in the journal. So these are great. They're already cut for you, so you can just use them. This is a piece of waxed paper. Okay, so a bunch of journaling cards and just bits and pieces that can be used. Okay. Oh, I wanted to actually show the little dangles that I included, or that I used on here. I wanted to also try something different, so I usually use beads and buttons. And the buttons, let me see if I can get, okay, so like these buttons, what I did was I threaded 2 of the binding threads through them, so that's how they look. And I like that. That was just a little bit different for me. And again, I did that on this one too. And then I hand stitched a rose on this piece of fabric, and I added it on here. And what I did was I actually used crazy glue to make sure that this doesn't just slip off, and I even used it for the beads. Okay, and here's another one that I made. I just I embroidered a little flower inside the button, and then I added this bit of lace. I sewed the lace on there. So these are my little, they're kind of like little embellishments. Then I did some French knots on the heart, and again I sewed around the heart so that it doesn't unravel. Okay, and so here's the side view of it. The laces that I used in this journal are from Mary Not Martha on Etsy, and I will link her below. The digitals I used for this journal are from Rach and Bella Crafts, And then I have some from Edith and Melina, and I also use some of my digitals in here. And I will link everything below, but if you have something specific you would like to know, like a link to a certain digital, let me know and I will get you the direct link. I think that would be easier because I love to use kind of a variety of printables in my journal, and sometimes since I use so many, I end up with a huge list of different pieces. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the binding. I know I had some questions about how I created the binding. So the way I did the cover, I did it in different pieces. What I did was I started with the cover and I did all the different stitching on here, and I just did it on 3 sides. So I did those parts separately. And then what I did was I attached the journal to the spine, and I made sure I used some fabric that was longer so I could glue it to the cover, right? And so the spine is actually 2 different pieces of card. And so I have the card that is stuck to the journal and then the outside part because I wanted it to be a hidden spine, right? And so I glued everything down, and then I also stitched the spine just to kind of reinforce it. But I also actually really love the stitching, right? So I really wanted to showcase stitching on here. And then I also added some ribbon trim up at the top and at the bottom. And again, I did a bunch of stitching on there. And then once I was done with the cover and with attaching the pages, I covered up the sides with this book print. Okay, and so and before, okay, so I covered it up with the book print, but I also sewed in the little pocket and I did the little stitching with the embroidery on there. Okay, and then I included a tag and then a journaling spot. This is perfect actually for a prayer. The Lord is my refuge. Okay, so here I have a journaling card, which I created a tuck spot. And then I have this verse. And I feel like it fits so well with the journal because it talks about thirsting for God. And when we thirst for Him, we want to read the Word and spend time in prayer with Him. So that's kind of the idea, or it's kind of the inspiration for the journal, right? Okay, so here I have a journaling card, and I use one of my tags as a little tuck spot. Okay, so here I have a card with the attributes of God, and I mentioned this in my other video where I did a craft with me for the journal, where I thought one of the biggest blessings is to actually know God, know who He is. So I made this card with some of the attributes of God because I think that's a really important place to start, and I think it's so important to know who He is. And so I made this little journaling card and I added it here, and I love the way it looks with the lion right there from the book page. Okay, and then I have this is just a little card. And then here I have Psalms 18. I have a little, like a calendar page. This is great for journaling on. And I have this fussy cut of the rose. This is, I think, from Rach and Bella Crafts, but I'm not sure. I'll link everything below so you guys know. And then I have this really pretty image. I love this. I use this in my journal, and I actually love to write on it, like right there where you have all the blue space. This is also a digital from my Etsy shop, and I love the way it works with this. I think it's so pretty, and I did a bit of stitching here. Here's some really pretty lace from Mary Not Martha. Okay, and here's more journaling space. I included some really pretty ribbons and lace. And then right here you have just a book page. or not a book page, a magazine page. I just felt like it worked so well. It's so pretty and it has like a Victorian look. Okay, so this layout is the one that I did for my for the collaboration, and I have a video with how I created this and how it all came together, and I just love this verse and I love the way this turned out. And I'll link down below the video in case you missed it, so if you guys want to see how this came together. Okay, I have more lace here, plenty of room for journaling. And then this flips out and you can have some hidden journaling in there. It's just a vintage letter from 1976. This is avocado dyed paper. This is avocado dyed book page, and I hand sewed those little hearts right there. I added this little glassine envelope, which I embellished. And in here, I got a bunch of pieces. Okay, so this is actually from Rach and Bella Crafts, one of her printables. And how cute are these? I just love these. His grace is enough. And then it has the verse at the bottom. Okay, so these are in here, and they just get tucked right there. I have some more hand stitching right there with the lace. I have another vintage document. This right here is, I actually waxed this paper and I added it on here. It has such a nice feel to it, and it's just a little bit see-through. Can you see that? You can see a little bit through it. I did a little bit of collaging here. I added some lace. I have this little fussy cut bird. And then I have this piece of, it's actually register tape. Okay, here I got some bits and pieces that you can use in the journal. I have this paper clip here, which I embellished with a bit of lace. Okay, I have more here. This is a card. This is some journaling, like a notebook paper, and then I have this bird, which, I don't know if you can see, this is also was waxed. Okay, so it has like a really cool effect. This is another, it's part of that letter. I also avocado dyed this and that. Then this is a little journaling card. I made a little tuck spot here with this ledger. And I have some journaling cards, a little tag, and some book page. Okay. And here, this actually flips open and you can have hidden journaling space here. This again is also waxed. And so it has such a nice effect how you can see through it. And I just tucked it in there. And this butterfly is also waxed, and let me see if you can actually use that as a tuck spot. Okay, so now we're on the second signature. This has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 signatures. Okay, there's a lot of space for journaling and for just adding your own bits and pieces to it. This is avocado dyed. I have this piece right here, which I hand embroidered little hearts. And again, this is actually a little tuck spot. Let's see. Okay, this is also a waxed image. Can you tell that I just loved the waxing? And so I just waxed a bunch of different images and cut them out, and I used them throughout the journal. Okay, so here I have a little tuck spot. More space for collaging, or another way you can use this type of layout that has a printed background is you can use coffee dyed paper or just like a blank type of paper, and you can glue it down, and then you can add your journaling Or you can also, let's see, you can add some kind of like a quote on here, right? Or some kind of imagery or photos. I love using photos. So there's plenty of room to kind of expand, and there's even room, like this can grow. I mean, it's pretty thick, right? But you can still add to it. It's not like it's so overstuffed that you can't add your own work to it. I made sure that the spine was big enough so that you can keep adding. And look at that, there's more room right there. And I used some of my peachy pink collections in here because I felt like it works so well with this, with these different pages. Oh, this is from my Parisian collection. Okay, so this is another pocket, and I have this piece here, which is perfect for adding some notes or maybe a prayer or just some journaling. Okay, then I have a little pocket here, and how cute is the little kitty peeking out? I love that. I think it's so cute. And I love the little pocket. Not perfect, just forgiven. Okay, this is another little tuck spot. And then I have Matthew 7 through 9. I have that verse here. It's about God giving good gifts to us. I have a bit of lace right here, and I did some collaging up here. Okay, I have another pocket here. And then I have these pieces. Oops. That's how it's supposed to be. And then I have this little tag with the lace overlay and the little sentiment. Thank you, Lord, for your blessing on me. And then I have this tag and then a book page, because I always love using book pages in my collaging or just for layering when I'm working in a journal. And so the great thing about having all these little pockets, or even these side pockets like right here, is that you can add all your bits and pieces in there as you work on or in the journal. And same with the pockets. I love having pockets like this because I can tuck my pieces inside the pockets as I work on them. And then when they're finished, I can always make sure I have some kind of tags or little cards in there with different sentiments or prayers or verses. Okay, so here I have this tag as a tuck spot, and I have this verse on there. Okay. I love that the spine is so thick because it gave me room to be creative and use any sorts of like bows and bulky pieces like the lace and the texture. Like here you have different layers, so it gave me the room to really expand if I wanted to, and not use just paper. Then I can use, you know, different pieces of fabric, and I don't have to worry about layering different pieces. I have this magazine page. Isn't that pretty? Okay, here I have a tuck spot, and how cute are these? I think they work so well together. And then I have some lace and this beautiful floral. Okay, here I have a little belly band, and I have these pieces tucked in, and basically an aesthetic photo and some book page. I have another aesthetic photo. I love using aesthetic photos in my journals. They're perfect for journaling on. They're really great as a focal point in a journal. Isn't that cute? I love that. Okay, I have another tuck spot right here, and this notebook paper with the pretty floral print. It's perfect for, again, either prayer, verses, journaling, or even Bible study notes. And then I have this. Isn't that pretty? I love it. I love the way they look together. And then I love the way this image looks with the background. Isn't that pretty? Okay, and I have a little layout here. I have different pieces I layered. Then here, I think this is another tuck spot. Let's see. Yeah, it is. See that? You can just tuck something in there. Okay, here I made this little, it's like a little medal. Isn't that cute? I just used a safety pin, a piece of fabric, and I sewed the top down. And I sewed it with, you can either go with cream, but in this case, I wanted to use pink so it stands out and creates a bit of a border at the top. And then I use this really pretty button on the bottom. And I also added some lace on there. And then here I have this really pretty tag. And it's backed up with a book page. And that just tucks in there. Okay, so here I have another tuck spot and all these little pieces. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. I love all the pieces. And then this is a really pretty image of some tree blossoms. Okay, so here is a little house that I made out of the paper. I think it's so cute. Unless the Lord builds the house, the builders labor in vain. And I love this. I think it's so important to realize that all blessings are from God. That's what this means to me, at least. And that I'm thinking that even though, you know, you can work really hard and not see a blessing. And then there's also people who work hard and they think that, well, we do it all. So that just is a reminder that actually the blessing comes from God, because there's people who work really hard and a lot of times the blessing is not there. So that's an important verse to me. And I think it's really important to realize that all blessings, even the small ones, even the ones that you think that are insignificant, they're all from God. Okay, and then we got to the end, and I already showed this, but I want to show it again because I love it so much. I think it's so cute. I'm gonna have to recreate this. I need to make it for myself too. I have the verse on the back: ask and it will be given to you, seek and you will find, knock and the door will be open to you. For everyone who asks receives, the one who seeks finds, and the one who knocks, the door will be opened. I love that. And so I was inspired by the door, and my friend Cheryl had just used some doors in her butterfly journal. So I just love the idea of the door, of using doors in your journals. And so I just thought of it worked really well with the verse that I have. And so I created this little house. And so I have knock, and the door will be open to you. And then here you have a tag. And then you can write on here the doors that you're knocking on, or the doors that are opened, that you knocked on and were open. And then here you have a window and it says ask and it will be given to you. And then here you can write your prayer requests and things you are asking for, or things that you have asked for and you have received. Or, you know what I think would be really cute? You can write like what you are asking for on the front, and then the back you can write when you receive it, right? I think that's really cute. And then if you look over here, it's a little secret tuck spot, and it says seek and you will find. And I love the little light on this journaling card because it's just a reminder that you need light when you're seeking. I think that's so cool. And so again, you can write what you're seeking for, and then on the back you can journal about when you find it. So I love this little, it's like a little interactive house journaling card. I actually used one of my tall tags for this, and I think it worked out so good. I have so many tall tags, and now I think I'm gonna go print a couple and to recreate this. I think it's so cute. And I use lace for the little curtains. I just did some layering for the window. Okay, so that tucks in here. And then I have, let's get closer. I have the little buttons right here that I hand stitched little flowers on. Isn't that cute? I love these little buttons. Okay. And then I was gonna show you guys this also. This is a file from one of my kits, and I thought it would work really well as a little, like a little journaling book or booklet. And so it's like a scrappy little booklet, and I think it's so cute. This is the wax paper again. And then at the back, you got some pieces that you can work with. Okay? I was gonna actually measure it to see the size. So just the size of the journal is 5.5, but if you count the rounded spine, it's gonna take up a little bit more room, like in a shelf, like maybe, I don't know, 6.25 inch maybe. And then it's about 9 inches tall, right? And I was also gonna say that since it's a bit of a curved spine right there, when you open it, you have almost like a waterfall effect where you can see the different layers. And I really love that effect. I think it looks so good. Okay, so this journal is approximately 65 pages, which, well, the way I counted it was 65 like this. So technically that's 130 pages front and back if you're going to count it like a regular book. So 130 pages. And I did count some of the smaller, shorter pages. And I love having such a thick journal. I think it's great because you can add a lot in it. And since it's so thick, you have plenty of room for adding your own notes and writing and working in it. But at the same time, you have a lot of pages that are really decorated. Like I added a lot of different inspirational pages so that when you're actually working in it, I'm hoping that it inspires you. All the little decorated pages. I feel like it's almost like when you have a book and you're reading and you have an image every so often in a book. I guess that's more for like the younger kids' books. They always have the images, and I would always look forward to seeing the pictures or the illustrations. I feel like that's a little bit similar to a journal, although a journal is going to be a lot more visual for me. But I do love to have those visual aspects that correlate or inspire me to write and to work in my journal. I hope that makes sense. That's kind of how I use my journals, and I hope that this journal is inspiring to you guys, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.